Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 different ways you can texture some horns. This is a continuation of my horn making videos that I made a really long time ago. I don't know why it's taken me this long, but it has. But here it is. These horns are all made from my Wow, That's a Lot of Horns pattern bundle. Link will be in the description if you need it. There's way more types than just this, but here we go. Let's do some texturing.
Method 1. Overlapping craft foam layers. Alright, grab a horn and an Australian ruler, which happens to be 4 centimeters wide, and cut a bunch of strips of 2mm thick craft foam that are the width of the ruler. Next, find a slightly thinner ruler, 3 centimeters in this case, and cut some more strips. You don't need as many of them, so just cut a few, and you can always cut more later if you need them. Our last set of strips is going to be 2 centimeters wide. I do not have a 2 centimeter wide ruler, so I'm just making marks and cutting on the line. Next, it's time to pretend you're 3 years old and just learning to use scissors. Make a nice wiggly randomized cut along the top of each strip of foam. If you're wondering why we have 3 different widths of strips, it's because the narrow strips go at the point of the horn and then they get wider as you move towards the base. So wrap a narrow strip just below the point. Trim it down until the cut ends match up flush with each other, then you can take it off and glue those 2 edges together. Apply some out of focus glue right near the point and slide it in place. Oh yeah, and you want to make sure the seam is on the back side of your horn. Overlap about half of your first piece with the second piece, line up one edge with the previous seam, and start gluing it down. Wrap it around, gluing as you go until you get back to where you started. Overlap the beginning of the strip and then cut straight down the center with a sharp knife. Depending where the original edge of that strip is, you might cut through that too, and that's totally cool because that means that those edges should fit together nice and flush. And then glue it down. And that's pretty much it. Now it's just a matter of repeating the process over and over and over again. I guess I should mention I'm using hot glue here. You can also use contact cement if you prefer. Just make sure to use a respirator because that stuff is nasty. Also, just so you know, the first 3 strips were made using the 2 centimeter wide foam, then the next 6 are 3 centimeters wide, and the rest are 4 centimeters wide. The horn I'm working on here already has its base cut at a bit of an angle so that it sits better on your head, so I just continued to cover over it with the strips and trim them back to the contours of the horn base after it was all glued. And there you go. Method 2. Foam clay. Alright, grab a horn, grab some foam clay. I'm using Foam-Mo here, but I don't think it's very easy to get anymore, so just use whatever foam clay you can find. Start by wetting down a small section of the horn at the point, then grab a piece of foam clay and start to cover the horn. Your aim is to coat the horn with a layer of foam clay maybe 2 or 3 millimeters thick. What seems to work for me is to just kind of drag the foam down over the horn with my fingers until I get the right thickness. Wetting the foam down with some water makes it a little bit softer and also lets you smooth it out a bit easier. Now that it's partially covered in foam, it's time to get out your favorite plastic knife and make some cool designs. If you've never tried foam clay before, it takes a bit of getting used to. It's not like regular clay where you could carve away sections or remove clay easily. It's more like you're pressing the texture into the foam clay and generally just pushing it around from place to place until it looks how you want it. I find that keeping my knife wet by dipping it into water from time to time keeps the knife from dragging and catching on the clay and allows a smoother finish. Once you've run out of clay to squish around with your knife, it's time to add some more. Repeat the process of wetting down the horn and add another section of foam clay. From here on in, it's just repeating the same things over and over again until you've got your whole horn covered with clay and all your clay nicely textured. Then you can set it away somewhere nice and safe where it can sit overnight to dry. Method 3. Spinning sandpaper. Okay, so with this one, we're going to actually carve away some of the foam to get the texture. But before you start carving, you want to put down some reference lines on the foam, otherwise it's easy to forget to account for the inward spiral of the horn and things can just start to get a bit out of whack. The other thing you'll need for this is a rotary tool with some kind of mandrel to wrap sandpaper around. I'm using a rotary tool for jewelry making with a big old nail with its head cut off stuck in the chuck as the mandrel. You can see that I'm rotating the sandpaper and nail in the direction that the flex shaft is going to turn. If you put the sandpaper on the wrong way, the flap at the end is going to catch on something and create a big mess, or maybe even hurt you. So don't do it. I'm also taping down the back edge of my little sandpaper roll to keep it all together, and even adding another strip of tape up a little bit higher. Eye protection and a mask to protect your lungs are compulsory. Alright, now it's just a matter of sanding along the lines you drew and then making up lines to go in between them all. With this it's nice because you don't have to have a continuous line that goes all the way around either. If you have some open spaces on the wider side of the horn, you can fill them in with little bits and pieces and it's all good. As you can see, I'm holding my rotary tool at some sort of an angle so that it basically carves a tapered ridge into the foam. You can also probably hear that I'm running my rotary tool at quite a low speed. You don't really need that much to carve into the foam. Mine's nice because the speed is controlled by a foot pedal, so I can have really good control over what's happening. See the dust on my hand? That's why we're wearing lung protection. And it's done. That was quick. Method 4. Hot Hair Straightener. Alright, a while back I made a video showing how I made this interesting tool out of an old hair straightener and a sheet of aluminum harvested from a decorative tray. I'll put the link in the description so you can find it if you want to make one of your own. The basic vibe is that piece of aluminum heats up and then you can press it into the foam to make indentations. One thing to watch is if you used hot glue to make your horn, you're going to want to spend as little time as possible over those seams so you don't remelt the glue. This method is the worst for leaving obvious glue seams. You can try to fill them with some foam clay or some caulking, but it's never going to be perfect. Here you can see me spreading on some acrylic latex caulking, and then I scrape it off with my knife, keeping the blade vertical and trying to just only leave the caulking in the little gap. Method 5. Yarn ball. Start with a ball of yarn and begin to wrap it around the horn. Don't go right up to the edge or the yarn may end up falling off. We can go back and kind of shimmy that down later. So yeah, if you've ever wrapped something around something else, you pretty much know what to do here. It gets a little tricky at the tip because the yarn wants to slide off that taper, but you can put a little bit of glue on that point to hold your yarn in place as you wind. I'm using super glue here, but hot glue would work equally as well. A little glue along the bottom edge, and then just coax the yarn down onto the glue. One interesting thing you can do is kind of collect the yarn together into clumps, and that'll give you a more distinct ridge texture on your horn. If you find out that your yarn to horn ratio isn't quite adequate, go back, wind some more on, and no one will ever know. Next, grab some Mod Podge or PVA glue, and start painting it onto the yarn. You don't have to fully saturate the fibers, but just enough to make you feel like you did a good job painting it on. I realize that's probably a bit vague, but to be honest, it's really not that critical. Leave the glue overnight to dry and come back in the morning. When you come back in the morning, you'll realize that it still looks like a horn that's just covered in yarn. It's nice and hard though. So to make it less yarny, we're gonna smooth things out a bit with our friend acrylic latex caulking. This is also super straightforward, just squeeze some on and then spread it out with your fingers. The main goal here is to reduce the definition of each of the singular pieces of yarn so that everything looks like one cohesive horn unit. Once you're done, let it dry somewhere safe for a couple days and you're good to go.
So there we go, that's as many different ways as I could think of for texturing horns. They're very varied. Couple thoughts I have on some of the different horns. One, I would say this horn is probably the one that requires the least other things because you'll have everything you need to make it, because all you need is glue, a knife, and some foam. So no extra tools or anything, so that's kind of handy. I quite like this with the foam clay. It's a little trickier to do, but it ends up with a horn that has no seams anywhere and is still nice and light. It's not that messy to do. This one doing with the sandpaper, it's quite messy and dusty and you still have a seam down the center, but it's light and doesn't require any more foam. The one with my homemade tool, pretty good, but again, you got those seams that you got to deal with. Nice and light, easy, quick. And this one with the string has a really good look. Kind of feels a bit more like a horn because it's hard. It's heavy though, so if you're going to be putting it on your head somehow, you need a pretty good way to attach it because there's a fair bit of weight on that pulling it down. But it does have a really nice texture and I like it a lot. So in conclusion, they're all great, just good for different things. Make whichever one you want. You can find way more horn patterns in my Wow, That's a Lot of Horns pattern bundle. Thanks for watching. See ya.